Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's reports for the 13th, and well, we had a pullback into the same zones that we've been in. Now we did breach the, after having been up there, if I go ahead and put the lines up there, the 2341, which, as I was saying, if you were above, moving towards that ABM yellow, we barely held it for a brief fraction, and came back below it. It's pretty much stayed below with the closes on most of these going through here all the way until now. Now we've had a reset indicating that obviously the ABM sees some attractive nature in this, and that was because of the crossover with the orange outside of the ranges and also steel popping up. Hasn't produced any strength so far in the pre-market at all. So it does give a tentative sign that maybe some of the more exacerbated selling is going pretty much as expected. I mean, look at this tiny range is all you're talking about after the huge up move. We're just revisiting very tiny retraces within this. I don't get too worked up over this situation. We're pretty much still stuck, I think, until we get some kind of action, whether it's news out of healthcare or anything else. And with the recess break heading into Easter, we've got no action for Friday situation. It's blah. It's the best way to describe it at this particular point. Euro, nice pump off of the support there. This is a key area where they start to get into and they really get into crisis mode. This was like a very dangerous setup back here. They're desperate to avoid that one again. Bonds, crazy trade, but we've had the buy signal on it from back over here at the number 2. It continues to trail the ABM. No accounting for thought, but you got to see, this is a perfect example though. I mean, while it's counterintuitive, you have to go with what the trade is. Likewise oil. I mean, there's a massive glut out there at this point, but the buy is the buy. Same with the TLT. It's like, okay, signal comes in, despite what the belief is, it's trading completely counter to it at this particular point. And that's what happens when you get a lot of people on one side of a trade. And it's a forced situation. I always love that term, force majeure. Gold, again, with bonds rising and the yield that low, why is gold rising? Again, these are counter dynamics, but the readings have been pretty clear as to where to move into each of these. And here was the 5K. If I shrink this one, it's pretty clear. I mean, we had the nice little pop-up, broke the 50% fib on that one, could not get back above it all the way through. We ended up with a reset down here, and we popped up to, that 50% number. And I can enlarge it as we get closer to where that was. Interesting though, as we get to that 50%, those breaks back below, we just ended up with noise. We tried to get back to it one brief moment, didn't last that long, and then boom, crashed down to new lows, and still no reset because we really haven't done anything. Even though we did get a dip down here below, the deal wasn't enough to sustain a move back to the upside, and got right back up above it again, and sure enough, caves right back down. It's going to revisit that low. And the interesting thing is not oversold on any of these from a extreme histogram standpoint, which is very interesting because it typically has a more bullish tendency, but means that we can stay in this malaise if the shakeout really doesn't want to turn around. And in this case, we're right at the base of significant selling. At minus 12.5 is usually that line where below you consider the market to be in a solid sell situation. So I think that's something worth bearing in mind, that I'm not afraid of shorts within the current configuration. The ES daily pink bar, even with the ABM reset here, has been, since all the way back March 13th. And here we are a month later, still in the exact same sell signal. Hasn't moved a whole lot, but doesn't change the fact that the general direction of the signal is correct. So we're looking for any alterations to that. Until we get them, this is where we're at. As always, look for me on the Skype chat. I keep posting. I've been doing a lot of programming, so it's all good stuff there. Trade well.